Hey, everybody, it's Josh here, and I just wanted to take a quick minute before the show gets started to just tell everyone that's listening, thank you. Any way, in any manner in which you consume this, whether it's downloading, listening on YouTube, liking our Instagram posts, following us on there, going to the website and clicking it, however that mechanism is that you choose to consume the content that we produce, I just wanted to say thanks. And on behalf of myself, obviously, and everyone here at Game Rage, we all thank you, because knowing that you're out there and you're listening, and if we can just entertain one person, then really that makes all the blood, sweat, tears, everything we put into this worth it. And I know I'm sounding like a martyr right now, but I just wanted to show our appreciation, I suppose. And also to, just remind everyone to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine, and to follow us on Twitter and X or /X at Game Rage Mag, and to also visit our website, www.gameragemagazine.com. And again, thank you from everyone here and myself at Game Rage. From the bottom of our hearts, we thank you for listening.
So you want to listen to a pretty all-right podcast about wrestling, do ya?
Well, the natural lad, Jet Swag, has said time and time again that there's only one podcast that's the most decent and the most all-rightest in the industry today.
And that's it's the Game Rage Wrasslin Podcast.
Look in my eyes.
There we go. All right, there it goes.
What do you see?
Adam.
Josh's fucking TV.
Yeah, that's true. All right.
We're starting already?
Yeah, I already hit the button. That's why I said, all right, here we go. Well, whatever. We'll leave that in. So anyways, this is episode number 3 of the Game Rage Wrasslin Podcast. Wrasslin. I'm Josh, and I'm here today with Adam.
Howdy.
And then also Frank.
Yep.
And today's topic is Wrestlemania, but Adam brought up a pretty good thing to talk about first. So we're going to talk about the most recent thing that happened with AEW Collision.
Yeah.
And Frank, I doubt you watched it, but I haven't actually watched it either, but I've seen clips of it. I do need to watch it.
Well,
but anyways, go ahead.
Just from what you've seen, what do you think?
So far, I'm stoked. Like, I like the set, like you said. It's great. It looks awesome. It looks super high production. It's different than the Dynamite set, like we had talked about last time or a couple times ago, about how the one thing that they could probably do is change the way the sets are and keep them different. So that's good. It's not the same cookie cutter design as the other one. I also like CM Punk did come back. So going into that whole aspect of whether or not you look at the storyline of what happened last time and he got into this fight allegedly and all that stuff, I'm sure that's been talked about ad nauseum by everybody else, but I am of the opinion that I think that was likely a work. I don't think that was real. I think that was part of the storyline, because I really believe in my heart of hearts that if you have guys that are the executives of the company, right, which is like Omega and the Young Bucks, they're like executive vice presidents of whatever, I don't know their exact titles, but they're seemingly put in charge of things in not a storyline manner, in like an actual capacity to like help run the company. I don't see how you could have anybody actually fight them and then the three of them go like, yeah, we're just cool with that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know there is things, I think they're just committing to the storyline. I think that's what it is. I feel like it's a work, but they're committing, I will say, because like you said, that they're not allowed to be at the same time at places.
Well, I don't know if it's like they're if they designated certain AEW shows for like CM Punk that on this week he will be assigned for this week, and then the following week it'll be the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. I don't know if that's how it works. It sounds like that's how it is, but yeah, it's just a weird situation. Like I don't want to say it's like a 1-for-1 of what WCW went through, but you're almost wondering if if some of the internal problems of like the roster itself will eventually hit like a boiling point that you know, I don't know. I don't think AEW will ever go under, but like, dude, if you can't, you know, if you have a workplace environment where everybody hates each other, then fuck, man, like that's not a good sign.
Yeah, that definitely does not lend itself to positive vibes going on with the way things are going to go. But yeah, I will say I am impressed, and I do really hope that it was an actual, you know, part of the storyline or a work, and this leads to some sort of, maybe like a year down the line, some sort of crazy, ridiculous, never before seen match type that's going to come out of this, so that CM Punk and whoever his crew that I'm sure he's going to be building over the next, you know, year, however long, will fight the Elite at the end of it. That would be impressive.
Yeah, I think this drama definitely adds up for like some really compelling television, because you know how some of it like art imitates life and vice versa.
Right, yeah. So I mean, like, even if it is true, if it's real that happened in real life and it wasn't part of the storyline, I think they should do the old Vince McMahon adage, and they should take advantage of that and turn it into a storyline.
I feel like they will. What do you got, Frank?
I don't know.
I don't think Frank cares.
I don't watch it, so it's hard for me to say anything.
All right.
Well, I mean, what would you think about that of as a storyline? You think that would still be, that'd be cool? Like, you think that would be whack? Do you think that, you know? Don't know. All right. All right. So you got anything else about that? About Collision?
Oh yeah. So the intro, I fucking like it, especially because it's on a Saturday. It's like that. I forgot what that song was from Elton John, but it's like Saturdays for. God damn it, I don't remember the song. But anyways, that it's a really awesome intro, and it feels like a whole different show compared to AEW Dynamite. As you said before, the stage looks really fucking sweet. I'm like, dude, this is exactly what they needed. And you know, CM Punk, who cut an 11 minute promo about him being back and shit, and then he took a stab at the Young Bucks with some comment about calling them like counterfeit bucks or some shit like that. I'm like, damn, dude, like, you know, for the sake of like trying to keep peace or just have some kind of civility, like you couldn't just like leave it at that, like just leave that comment out. And no, he just turns it.
You gotta
like
push the buttons.
Yeah, so you just turn it into like a shooter. Is that the proper phrase? A shoot when you like?
Yeah, when you're doing it like for real.
Yeah. So that happened. I'm like, man, all right, whatever, man. If you want to roll with that, then it's cool. Like, I guess, you know, if you're getting paid and they're getting paid, and if nobody has any hard feelings for the shit that's being said, I'm sure they are, but like they're just kind of sucking it up to somebody gets called a bitch for taking it personal or whatever.
That's true. In my opinion, too, about the whole wrestling business, being, you know, a lifelong fan, outsider, not having ever been in it, so who knows, I may not know what the fuck I'm talking about, but I feel like when money is involved, man, you guys are just, at the end of the day, you're just being you're a character, right? So who cares if it's like if you were on a regular TV show and some other character calls your character an asshole, well, who cares? You're both still getting paid. It's not like, it's not personal against you necessarily, but then you have like the Matt Hardy situation where it did become personal, and then true. There are exceptions to the rule.
I don't know what amount of money could make things right for that particular situation with like Edge and Lita, but that shit probably didn't feel right.
I don't know, man, but he still did it though. I mean, he still went through it, the whole storyline.
Yeah,
and
the pay must have been pretty fucking good.
And he lost that match too, didn't he? When they fought, like he lost. Like I don't think he won the match, so that's an even more insult to injury. Like on top of that, but I mean,
I hope the money was good, dude. Cause
I do too, man. I hope it was.
I don't know if it was worth the fucking dignity of like, losing dignity and just.
It was probably part of his plea deal.
Fuck, man. Well, maybe. You know, regardless of whatever happened to Matt Hardy, at least he got his by being an independent and doing broken Matt Hardy, which was sweet. It's probably
sweet,
like one of the greatest things ever. And,
I mean, it really is. It's definitely one of the greatest things that's happened in the last 10 years or whatever.
The multiverse of wrestling, dude. You just showing up in different promotions and just collecting
belts, man. Collecting tattoo titles. Like, that was awesome. That was a really unique, amazing thing that in the bland world that wrestling kind of became at that time. I mean, that was a very different way of doing things.
Yeah. So I think I'm more or less done with that particular
topic.
Yeah, so if you guys want to move on.
All right, cool. All right, so Wrestlemania. It's referred to as the granddaddy of them all, the main event, the biggest show of the year.
It certainly is, dude. Like, you talk about like mainstream culture and things that people talk about, like WrestleMania, whether you're a fan or not, it's one of the fucking coolest things ever to witness, like to hear about it, to talk about it, like during when it happens and stuff. Like, dude, I remember, I mean, I didn't have the privilege of paying for like pay-per-views and shit, but and I still wouldn't want to pay for them anyways. But the few times that we did, man, like,
Yeah, man.
the first one. Okay, so I guess we could start off with this since
Yeah.
I mean, there was a long time where, like, you know, majority of us, like you, Frank, you, Josh, and myself, were watching wrestling for a hot minute.
Yeah.
Like I think we came back in at 2014. This was after the fact that CM Punk walked away.
Right, yeah.
It's kind of funny that we're doing like a podcast now. He's back.
Yeah, I know,
He's
right?
back. But so the thing that kind of got us back in was, well, there was like a few things going on. There was like the beginning of the New Day when they were kind of like the shitty gospel gimmick that they were doing.
Yeah.
And then there was the Daniel Bryan story where he kind of supplanted, is that the correct term? Supplanted whatever like they were going to do with CM Punk. Where
Right, yeah.
he would eventually face, who did he face in WrestleMania?
Yeah, it was 30, right? It was
WrestleMania 30. It was Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton and Batista.
But he had to fight Triple H at the beginning of the night to
earn
be
the
able
right
to even get in that match.
Okay, now I'm starting to mix shit up because the first WrestleMania that we saw together was the one in Santa Clarita, which was is it Santa Clarita?
Yeah, I think that's where it was in, not Santa Clarita. It was in the like
Levi's
San Francisco.
Stadium.
Yeah, whatever.
The Bay Area.
That area, yeah.
Yeah, that one with Seth Rollins like stealing the fucking. That was the first one we watched together, and then we watched the one after that, which was Daniel Bryan.
Was that one. So it was 29 was the first. Was that also the one?
Dude,
oh,
I'm
man, I am getting
confused.
my storyline confused.
WrestleMania 30 was the first one we guys saw together,
Which was what?
which was Daniel Bryan versus.
Okay, so then
the next one
31 was the Levi's Stadium one.
Yes.
Okay, because that one was kind of cool because it was like Randy Orton doing the RKO where Seth Rollins fucking ate it from like 10 feet up or whatever the fuck the fuck it was, and then obviously
man,
he stole
he stole the belt.
Yeah, and then like Roman was getting shit on by Brock Lesnar. That was fucking great. But yeah, that was like the first pay-per-view that we saw together.
Yeah,
that was like the beginning of us getting back into wrestling.
Rebacking into it. Yeah.
So anyways, what do you guys got to say about that particular WrestleMania? And then we could go in any number of directions as far as like shit that you remember from different WrestleManias.
Yeah. So that one specifically, that WrestleMania 30, man. I remember it was me, you, Frank, Tycoon was there.
Yeah, dude, it was like everybody.
Yeah, dude, it was at my apartment too, and we watched
my
it.
apartment.
Was it your apartment?
It was at his apartment.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. The next one we did at my apartment, right?
We did like 4 or 5 pay-per-views in my in my apartment, and then
Yeah, I feel like we watched the first two.
You might be right.
Yeah. Because it wasn't until you got the upgraded apartment.
Oh, that's right. Then we started doing it there. But anyways, so yeah, man, that first one, that WrestleMania 30, man, that we had got back into, that one was awesome. That whole Daniel Bryan thing was like the best thing to probably come back into, that whole storyline, because it was just exciting to be able to. We got to see that kind of.
We got to see Taker lose the reign.
I mean, that is true. We did get. I mean, as unfortunate.
that was a holy shit moment.
That was, man. I did not see that coming at all. That was not.
All right, so I know we talked about this before, but on the subject of Undertaker losing to anybody, and it was Brock Lesnar, do you feel like that was the appropriate call?
No.
Who do you think it should have been?
Should have been not a rookie, but somebody that kind of like Sami Zayn or Kevin Owens. Somebody that was. They're pretty much established, but they're not established in the WWE.
They need that one moment.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like that.
Because, he didn't retire that year, but you know how the whole old saying is you always leave on your back.
Yeah.
Right. So, I think they should have waited until he was ready. I mean, maybe they did think that he was going to be done and he ended up, doing a couple more. But I really think that, honestly, even though things haven't necessarily gone that great for Bray Wyatt. I kind of felt like that might have been the guy who could have really passed the torch to. It definitely, I don't think Lesnar's storyline wise, yes, that's believable in storyline fashion, but he didn't need it.
Which was what?
Which was, I mean, Lesnar's the beast incarnate. He's the unstoppable force or whatever, and no one can defeat him. Of course, in storyline that would make sense. That he would be the one to do it, to beat the old Undertaker.
It wasn't a pretty match.
No, it wasn't. It was garbage on both ends, and obviously Undertaker's like 100. So I mean,
but his next match against Roman Reigns was freaking way better than it was with Taker.
Yeah, that's because
I think he probably. I don't know if he felt it, but he's like, oh shit. Well, I got to step it up for the next time if I do it.
I mean, to me, it felt more like I felt like Taker was trying to work around Lesnar.
Oh, I don't know, dude. Like, it just looked bad on both ends.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm just saying, to me, it felt more like Lesnar is always wants to wrestle at 10, where Taker can match his opponent's energy, but Taker can't match 10
anymore
for an entire match.
No, I don't think so.
Because I mean, you could tell, man, he was toast like halfway through that match. He was just donezo. Like he had nothing left.
But that's my whole point was every match afterwards was a wrestler that. They didn't have to go at 10, and it was a way more entertaining match.
Yeah, true.
All right, so I think I watched the last Wrestlemania. I don't know if you guys caught it, but now that you guys are talking about it, somebody that is kind of reaching the end of their ropes, I would say is if you guys watch the IC title match with, I think it was the US title match with John Cena and Austin Theory.
Oh, yeah, man.
Dude, I was like... This is bad. Like I think John Cena, like whatever muscle memory he has for
it's gone.
It's gone, and his bulk, like his physique, like he looked pasty as fuck.
Yeah, it's that.
Well, that's the problem with people like Cena and The Rock. It's great when they come back, like entertainment wise, but especially I don't know how it is right now with Cena. But about The Rock, for a while there, he would come back and just talk shit, and then maybe smack someone around for a few minutes, but he will never wrestle a match.
Yeah,
because he can't get injured. He has a movie. He has things he's got to do.
Yeah, and
the same thing with Cena is he's pacey and stuff like that. But did you see him in Peacemaker?
Yeah, I mean, well,
he wasn't. That motherfucker wasn't strong or anything like that. He was fucking built.
He was jacked.
Well, I mean, I would say the camera helps too. Like, you don't say it adds 10 pounds, so it looks, whatever physique he has might be good enough for the television screen, but like,
well, I think they're two different types of physique because like he wasn't shirtless the whole time in Peacemaker, right? Like he had a shirt on.
No,
the majority of the show. So I kind of
he was butt-ass naked in several scenes.
No, it wasn't several. I'm saying the majority of the show, he had a shirt on.
He had the most uncomfortable sex scene that I have ever seen in my life.
I mean, that's true. But what I'm saying is those types of physiques, like wrestling, you can't just, it's got to be functional and it also has to be aesthetic. But with the Hollywood type, you don't really need function. You just need aesthetics. So that type of training, those are two different types of training that you kind of have to do. And so the type of training to have the physique that's aesthetic but also functional is different. And you can tell, like, he doesn't have that physical.
No, it was that. Yeah, keep going.
Anyways, I think that
look at Ronda Rousey. Mm-hmm. Everyone say, "Oh, she's gonna do great." When she first came over, automatically she's gonna do great because she's an MMA fighter. It's not the same beast, and so to me, I never saw an entertaining match from her. Like it was all, what's the word?
She's more spots than she was like the whole
picture,
the whole match. Because like when you think about it, the real highlight of her was like picking up Triple H and I think whatever, I don't know what she did. It was like a Samoan drop or some shit like that. It was whatever. But those are the things that you remember is like her physical strength. But it's like, dude, you got to do that for 30 minutes.
Yeah, but I'm saying just because you're good at one sport or good at something that's physical doesn't mean you're going to be great at something else. That requires.
Right, true. And going back to the Cena thing, I do think Cena gets a lot of hate that he doesn't necessarily deserve, but the John Cena of the last 10 years, let's just be honest. I mean, he wasn't an in-ring technician by any standards of the word. I mean, he was, people were complaining about how he's got 5 moves and, blah, blah, and he kind of did have that already to begin with. And then you put him out of the ring for shit. How long has it been since he really wrestled last? I mean,
I don't know.
It's been a while,
it's
right?
Been a hot, it's been a hot minute.
It's been maybe a couple of years since he's last been in a ring. So then you throw him into Wrestle fucking Mania, literally the biggest show of the year. And you put him in a match, and I get it. That was to showcase Austin Theory or whatever, right? Like that was, that was kind of the point of that, because it's not like Cena walked away and won the match. Like, it was more of like they fed Cena to Theory so he could like.
Yeah, but it felt like the workaround was that Austin Theory was cheating,
right?
So
sure.
so that.
Yeah,
that they could mask, so they could mask like the fact that Cena isn't ready to do like a 30-minute match, like,
right?
And it showed too. Like I'm saying that like when you watch the match, it didn't look good. Period.
Yeah, no, it definitely didn't. I mean, most of the matches this year, I didn't really think were that great to begin with.
Well, I would contest you on that with the I think it was like an 8-man. What did they call it? With like it was 8 tag teams.
Yeah, okay, that was cool.
Yeah, that was sweet, dude.
I said most of the matches. I didn't say all of them. I did say most.
Ricochet and fucking Braun Strowman, dude, like as a tag team was really fucking cool.
Yeah,
that
was pretty cool.
Because you had like the human pinball guy and then like the super strong dude, and they were like, it's a weird tandem, but it works.
Yeah.
But no, just like everybody that was in that match was super fucking awesome.
Yeah,
everybody had great
spots.
Everybody had great spots.
That was good. What was it? That women's legends match was bad. I didn't really think that one was that good. Who it was like Lita and Trish Stratus and was it Natalia? I think maybe it was on that team.
I don't know.
It was them versus Bayley and her 2 minions or whatever, and that match just was bad. There was a lot of fuck ups in that one. And honestly, like I really didn't even like the Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes match that much. I mean, it was just kind of all right. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't like, it wasn't, I don't know, I just didn't feel like it was main event.
I think the last 15 minutes were good. Like I didn't really care for like the interference because I felt
like it took away from.
It felt like a drive-by moment. Like they're like, oh, here, let's fucking throw. Like let's remind everybody that this is what's at stake, or like what the plot is. That we have the Usos and we have Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, who are also part of this larger arcing story. So let's shoehorn them into the last like 15 minutes of the match. But so anyways,
the tag title match though, that was fucking awesome. That Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn versus the Usos was a fucking amazing match, I have to say.
So one thing he did on Monday Night Raw this past week, well, I think it was this past week or this past Monday or the week before, he did the Blue Thunder Bomb, which I think is like a great finisher. Then I don't really like the Hell of a Kick as a finisher because it's kind of, I don't want to say it's boring, but
it's underwhelming.
It's underwhelming
like, as a finisher, as one of those setup maneuvers to get to the finisher. I think that's what it should be. It's like kind of perfect for that.
The fucking Blue Thunder Bomb, dude. It looks fucking good. Like that's a finishing move right there. But anyways, Wrestlemania, dude. What else? What do you guys got?
So we talked about the first Wrestlemania that we saw together in a while when we got back into wrestling. Then what was, we just talked about the last WrestleMania too. So what's the first WrestleMania that you remember watching? Was that the first one you've watched, or were there? So what was the first one that you remember watching?
Dude, I'm going to be honest. Like, all the shit that I saw as far as WrestleMania goes was from, like... So, if anybody didn't have fucking cable or anything...
Yeah, it was back on when you watched the replays on Raw. Like, it would be the still images. You remember? Like,
basically that, or it was fucking Afterburn, dude. Like,
Afterburn,
Yeah, I used to stay up for Afterburn just to catch up on, like, WrestleMania. So, I never actually... I would say, like...
What's the first one you remember seeing that for, though, then? What's the first, like...
I don't want to say it was WrestleMania 20, but it was probably WrestleMania 20 for sure. Okay. Like, yeah, because I was really invested in like Chris Benoit winning. I know we keep talking about Chris Benoit, and yeah, it's very awful that he killed his family and everything, but as
Man,
I'll disregard that.
Yeah, hell of a wrestler.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, dude, because there was a match with him and Kurt Angle, like it was on SmackDown, and I forgot when it was, but it was just like one of those regular matches, and like those dudes like squared up.
Oh yeah,
it was like the most technical match you could see as far like it was proper fucking wrestling, dude. It was crazy. Like you never see anything like that. But anyways, yeah, that would probably be WrestleMania 20 would probably be like the one that I remember.
All right, what about you, Frank? What's the first one that you remember watching or kind of keeping up with, I guess?
I wouldn't remember because all my times I watched pay-per-views when I was younger was at my friend's house because he was the only one that would actually ordered them.
Yeah.
And I do remember seeing WrestleManias with him, so I don't even remember which one it was.
Okay.
All right, so this might be like a Josh-centric fucking episode if you know
maybe
you fucking know WrestleMania more than any of us.
I mean, that's potentially. We're just asking the questions and getting down to the bottom of it. So, okay, for this question specifically, yeah, maybe this was more of a Josh-centric question than anything. But for me, I definitely remember the first one that I remember watching. I think it was 6. I think that's the one where Hogan fought the Ultimate Warrior. I think it was 6, if I remember right. And I remember I was at fucking some video rental store, and I just happened to be looking at wrestling, and I was like, what's WrestleMania? Let me see what this is. And I pulled it off and rented it and went home and watched it, and I was like, oh man, because I already obviously knew what wrestling. I'd already been watching wrestling for a little bit at the time when I rented this. I was probably maybe like 7 or 8, and not having the internet and not really having resources, as they say, you're kind of limited to what you can see on TV. And they don't necessarily, back then at least, they didn't really talk about stuff earlier on as much as kind of they do today. They reference like a lot of that older stuff. They didn't really do that back then. So this was something I was like, I was like, what the fuck is this? This is amazing. So I had never seen anything like what a WrestleMania was. And I was just like, oh, that's awesome. So then that's when I went back and like, they had a couple other ones. And then, I would start finding them here, finding them there. But 6 or whatever, the one with Hogan versus the Ultimate Warrior, that was the first actual WrestleMania I remember watching. It was, that was like in the 80s. So obviously this was like 10 years later, probably, from when it actually happened. It was on, VHS tape. So the first one that I remember watching, like, I don't know, not live, because for 20, did we watch it live or did we record it and then watch it later?
We watched it live.
We watched it live? Okay, because I remember that was, I think, the first one that we watched together, right? That was the first WrestleMania, or did we watch 19?
I think we saw 18.
Was it 18 we watched together?
I think so.
I remember I think maybe 19 we recorded it and then watched it later. I think that's why I'm getting confused. But for some reason we had to do that. But yeah, I definitely have distinct memories of watching 18 with you for sure. 20 100% for sure. That one was great. But anyways, so that was okay. So now getting into what is, if you have a WrestleMania that you remember as being the best one that you've seen. Have you seen a lot of WrestleManias, Adam? I mean,
I've seen a lot. I've gone back to see matches and
watched them. Yeah. So what would you say then? Okay, would be your favorite WrestleMania? Because you haven't probably watched all the way.
No, right? I haven't. But.
So then for you, I will posit the singular question of what's your favorite WrestleMania match that you have right now, or what you remember as, what is your favorite match?
I don't know if it's my favorite, but I think a lot of people would contest that this is probably one of the best WrestleMania matches ever. And I don't know if it's because it's so much as for like the wrestling itself, but just like the legacy, the 2 legacies, and then the I guess the gravitas of the situation with Hogan and Rock.
Oh yeah.
Because it's you have the modern legend versus the old guard,
right? Yeah,
and the situation changes like in the middle of the match, that Hogan for as long as he's been part of the NWO, or as long as he's been Hollywood Hogan, you could see the crowd like literally turning the guy fucking face in the middle of the fucking match, and he's starting to feel it too, and it's like, oh shit, it's a real moment. And then after that it turns into, what is it, after that particular WrestleMania, which I think is like WrestleMania 18, then he starts beefing with Scott Hall and
Kevin
Nash, right? But I don't know, like I watched that match and I didn't get to experience it in that moment, but watching it, you're just like, oh my god, this is so fucking cool. Like this is old man strength versus fucking The Rock and shit. But I would say like that was one of the cooler matches that I've seen. But anyways, what do you guys think?
What about you, Frank? You have a favorite like match and or WrestleMania as a whole?
Well, if it's WrestleMania, it would have to be 20.
Yeah,
because that was the one we saw together, and we were there for everything. And I don't know, that was just one that's always gonna stay with me.
Yeah, to me, I mean, 18 was great, but I feel like and that's what's hardest, because most WrestleManias, most matches they're all good usually, like the older ones. Every match is almost great, but man, for me, I don't know, something about 20, it just hit, the whole thing hit, the whole everything. You know?
What was so they had like the Rock and Sock connection versus what? It was the Evolution?
It was versus Flair and Batista.
Okay, so is WrestleMania 20 the one where fucking Ric Flair wrestled against Shawn Michaels?
No, that was 20. Wait a minute. I think that was 21.
The one after?
The one after, yeah, was when he fought him in the retirement match.
Oh, shit.
I think that was the one after, yeah.
Yeah, because that one was like, him getting put away.
Yeah, he got put, which that was, that alone was, that retirement match, man, that was like, oh no, wait, that's 21. Maybe it was 22? Ric Flair. Let me look it up real quick so that way we can not.
All right, yeah, so that way we don't.
It was the Fatal 4-Way match for the tag team title. That was Booker T and Rob Van Dam. La Resistance.
Oh, yeah.
La Resistance, dude. Oh, I forgot about that. That was a good heel.
It was 24 was the retirement match.
God damn, dude.
That was also Randy Orton, Batista, and Ric Flair against The Rock and Mick Foley.
Oh, it was a 3 versus.
Oh, it was 3 versus 2. That's right.
What the fuck? I wonder why they lost that match.
This is back when the Divas were still a thing, the evening gown match.
Oh, yeah, man.
It was Sable and Tori Wilson against Stacy Keibler and Miss Jackie.
Wow.
Man, back when you could do things.
Oh, yeah, I remember this one, the Cruiserweight Open. This was the...
Yeah,
it was Ultimo Dragon, Shannon Moore, Jamie Noble...
Word. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, Shannon Moore. Remember, he was Matt Hardy's little like underling or whatever when he was V1 Matt Hardy. He was like his little buddy.
I can't stop in a tornado.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Funaki was in it. Rey Mysterio.
Funaki, dude.
Tajiri, Chavo.
Damn, dude. That's a fucking.
That's a lineup, man. That was
that was when like, oh man. So early 2000s from top to bottom, every fucking Raw.
Yep.
Well, I think you could just say from like the mid 90s all the way up until like the maybe mid 2000s, you could say like Raw and SmackDown were good from top to bottom.
Oh yeah, for the most part. Yeah, I think you could easily say from like 90, probably like 7, from 97 to like probably 2005
or 6.
Yeah, 5, 6. That it was just top to bottom. It was just good all the way around. WrestleManias were no exception. Then obviously you had Kurt Angle and Eddie Guerrero, and then you had Benoit versus Shawn Michaels versus Triple H in that triple threat match. And man, I'll tell you what, I did not see that coming about Benoit winning. Man, like I just did not think it was gonna happen.
That's the thing. Everybody but you saw it.
Yeah, man. I was just not. I just didn't see it.
Toothless.
Yep.
Toothless aggression, dude.
Yeah, toothless aggression. Yeah.
Motherfucker, dude.
But I will say, even though I didn't see it, they got me on that one. I didn't see it for some reason. I just didn't want to believe it. But that I have to say that was great. That dude deserved it, man. He'd never, it was like the ultimate storyline, obviously, of
to have them both win it.
Yeah, and then to have them both win it, and then at the end when they came out and they were all like fucking hugging each other and shit, and I was just like, oh man, dude, like.
Okay, so what do you guys think about? So obviously the triple threat match main evented, but do you think it would have worked the same if Eddie and Kurt Angle finished that WrestleMania as the main event?
Nah, because Kurt Angle was already, or Eddie Guerrero was,
he was
already the champion going into
He was
it.
retaining it.
Oh yeah, good point.
Yeah,
no, never mind.
Wouldn't, I don't think it would have been nearly as impactful if that would have been the main event.
Yeah, never mind.
But it worked because for the Eddie storyline, it worked because when he won it at Backlash against Brock Lesnar, it was
There's no way out.
No way out. Sorry.
Yeah.
It was always seemed like, oh, it was a gimmick, a fluke that he won it, and then him retaining it at WrestleMania legitimized it.
Yeah, it cemented it.
Oh man, dude. Okay, so this is like aside from because, dude, I was a fucking hard Eddie Guerrero mark, dude. Like I was so agitated when because JBL wasn't like a main event guy for like a long period. Like he was like, you know, he was part of the APA and shit, and you know he was teaming up with Farouk or
never saw the appeal for JBL,
dude. Oh my god.
Well, as in the APA, that was great. That was excellent.
he wasn't JBL in the APA.
I guess that's true. I guess that's a good point. He was just.
We're not talking about Bradshaw. We're talking about Mr. I'm going to go down to Texas and start harassing Mexicans.
Yeah,
JBL.
dude. He, like, oh my god, nothing pissed. Okay, I wouldn't have mind if Eddie Guerrero would have lost to fucking literally anybody, dude.
Anybody,
but it was like it was the.
You know what would have been a great person for him to lose it to?
What?
Chavo. It would have been funny because it would have been cheating on both sides in that fucking match. It would have been the most stupidest cheating, like, and it had to have happened on a SmackDown. It couldn't have been a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And then literally, you can just have Chavo literally lose it to the next heavyweight. That isn't gonna be
that would be
doing his
funny.
shit.
Yes, that actually would be funny. But yeah, dude, fucking JBL, dude. I hated when they fucking remade him into that billionaire fucking
Because
cowboy.
He made a shit ton of money on the stock market.
CNBC, like he was, and then the CNBC hired him to like do stock analysis because he like.
I get that, but the fat son of a turning into fucking Scott Steiner, dude. The fat son of a bitch. But you know, it's all part of like the he's fat. But dude, the dude had the physique. Like, dude, he was made of fucking hamburgers, dude. Like, he was soft as shit. And when you're watching the matches against him, like at a Great American Bash, where he lost like what was it? Eddie lost the fucking title in a like
was it a strap match? It was like one of those. Like,
I don't know what it was called. Like it was like a lasso match.
Yeah, when they were tied to each other.
Yeah,
or something.
Yeah,
and four corners, and then you had to hit each. You had to do the corners or something, right? Didn't you?
Yeah, it was
Shit like
stupid.
that?
Yeah.
Whatever. And then there was like a fucking match that Eddie ended up bleeding his fucking brains out, dude. And I'm like, man, why do you have to fucking lose to JBL, dude? Fat son of a bitch. But you know, that's just like I know I could separate that from the real person, John Bradshaw Layfield.
Right, sure.
But in
let's be honest, he's probably a racist in real life.
maybe, I don't know.
Remember, like, JBL worked because it was him put to 11.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. Just I know that kind of got off topic from fucking WrestleMania. But
well, like, to continue your point, did you ever see his retirement match against John Cena?
he got put. Well, no. Why?
It was bad, dude. Like, it was like you will never hear these words come out of my mouth again. John Cena carried that match,
Dude, you know what I will say though, like this is probably the biggest compliment that I can give to John Bradshaw Layfield is the fact that he made the fucking lariat like a
finish.
or no the clothesline. It was a clothesline. He made it look like a legitimate fucking finisher with the way he like. I don't know, man. Like, it's the same way that Hangman Page like flips people when he does like the buckshot lariat.
Yeah.
But when he like leans into it, dude, when people sell it, I'm like, oh, dude, you know what? Like the clothesline is actually fucking.
That's like a legit maneuver.
Yeah. Clothesline from hell, dude. Michael Cole, dude.
That's why it's not just a regular clothesline. It's clothesline from hell because it's fucking deadly.
Yeah.
it's just not a super kick. It's the sweet chin
Yeah,
music.
exactly. True that.
Yeah. So do you?
It's not a reverse spine buster. It's the rock bottom.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a fucking. What is this? God damn it!
One thing I always wanted to say, like, this is something me and Josh always say. Who does the? Oh my god, I can't remember his name now. Who does the Russian leg sweep hurt? Because you're both landing the exact same way.
Oh, I don't know, dude.
Like-
We can try right now and find out.
Oh, we have tried it, and it hurts both people. Really, it hurts the guy doing it more than because with when you're doing it to a guy, your arm is around the back of his head when you're pulling it back, so your head is slamming against the ground, and his is cushioned by your arm.
Which one? Okay, never mind. Yeah, go ahead.
And just like what they always want, like you always see like people like I think I want to say The Rock, but I don't think he actually did it. No, I think he did. And just every time I see him doing, I'm like, wait, that's the one move that always did that I can't suspend my disbelief for. I'm like, no, no.
Okay, so on the subject of like the same move given two different names, Booker T has claimed to the bookend over the
rock bottom.
The rock bottom.
Well, I mean, the rock bottom popularized that move before I think Booker T did it, because I don't think he was doing it when he was in tag team as Harlem Heat. I don't think I remember ever seeing him do it.
What was he doing? Like it was just a scissor kick.
Scissor kick, yeah. That was it. Was, and then he had God, I can't remember. They had some tag team double team maneuver that was like the Legion of Doom has the Doomsday device where they put you on the shoulders and the one guy jumps off and then clotheslines you.
Or the 3D.
Like, or the 3D is like a 2-man. Deal. The Harlem Heat had like a 2-man finisher. I think.
All right.
What was the modification they did to it when they added Spike Dudley to it?
On the 3D.
Yeah,
It was like a headbutt into the nuts.
That was what D1 did.
No, that was from the top rope. Yeah. The wazza.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then what Spike do?
I don't remember
I remember for a while they did something where they added him into it.
Did they just like throw him like
Use him as a torpedo.
Oh my god, dude. There was so many matches where Spike fucking Dudley just got tossed, and dude, I honestly don't know how that guy didn't fucking die.
Yeah, man, that is a miracle in and of itself, because
There was one time where he landed direct. I want to say the mat was lifted off, and it was
He
just
landed right on the concrete.
I'm like, dude, this guy's fucking dead, dude. Like, he's never fucking walking
wasn't
again.
he the one that had the hardcore title the longest? Didn't
Was
he?
he?
No, that's Jamie. That was a Jamie Noble. Who was the one that started the 24-hour challenge for the hardcore title?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember who started it, but
I want to say it was him, but I don't think I'm right.
I don't think it was him.
No. I remember that was fucking great because, like, there was just so fucking. I think it was Jamie Noble. Oh, he's at the laundry center.
Yeah,
Start fighting him.
Yeah.
yeah, man, that was a cool thing that they just need to. I don't know, maybe they need to bring something like that back where you have a title that's on the line 24/7.
All right, I got a good question for you guys. I know we've detracted quite a bit, but who do you think? Because WrestleMania is like the time where everybody gets to, or at least I think they have the opportunity to really turn their persona up to 11 with an entrance.
Yeah.
Who do you think had like one of the best entrances in WrestleMania history?
Man, the Undertakers were always good, but
The 15-minute walks to the ring.
oh yeah, man, those are they're great. They're great because it's like you would think, oh, if he's taking fucking 20 minutes to walk to the ring, you'd just be pissed and this would be stupid. But every time, it's just so good.
It was Crash Holly.
Oh, Crash Holly, that's who it was. He's like a Spike Dudley. He's like ripped Spike Dudley.
Didn't
basically.
he die in a car accident?
No, wasn't that the other one, the little one?
That was
Crash Holly was the little
Hardcore
one.
Holly is the other.
Is the bigger one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he's dead for sure, but ironically, from in a car accident. No, but that would the Undertaker when he used to do it when they would put him on that little they would have the fog on the floor and then they'd put him on a skateboard and somebody would pull it from the other end and he just looked like he was floating in the air. That was some of the coolest shit ever. But I don't know. I feel like Triple H had some pretty sweet fucking entrances.
Oh yeah.
Shawn Michaels had the cool one where he came from the ceiling.
What was that? WrestleMania
That was 12. That was WrestleMania 12 when he won the title against Bret Hart in the Iron Man, the first ever Iron Man match at WrestleMania.
I have a question I want to bring up. Why is it that in the WWE there was no ever midget match that was ever decent, but in Mexican wrestling it's always great?
I think that's because
Like in WWE, I think it's always been treated like a joke.
Right, but and then so I don't think they're actually hiring dudes who are actual midget wrestlers. think they just hire dudes who are midgets that just are built, and then they just fuck or whatever, and they just throw them out there. Whereas in Lucha Libre, that's like at every show they have midget wrestling. There's a match like at every show, at least. So those guys are, well, yeah, maybe not nowadays, but back then, like, so those guys were just always working, and they were good at it, because that's what when you're
and
wrestling.
They also need the other guy to sell too.
I mean, that is true. So if you got a guy, and that's part of the business. So if you got a guy who doesn't know what he's doing, then yeah, it's probably not going to look so good. Which is probably why a lot of those matches didn't really look that great. But I feel like in Lucha Libre that they do it all the time. So those guys get a lot of work, so they get good at it, and then hey, they're just as good as a lot of them are just as good as the rest of the card that they're on. They're no difference in the match other than they're just smaller. But yeah, I mean, I like those. Those are awesome. Those Lucha Libre.
I feel like now that we're talking about like people that were wrestlers that happened to be. I don't know what the proper term is to not be offensive, but
reality stars.
No, I mean,
talking about midgets.
Yeah, I didn't want to
listen. I mean, it's just
because for a long time there was a little bastard, but he was called that for
Hornswoggle was his,
Hornswoggle.
But he was called little bastard,
yeah.
like for like a long for like
remember,
a good.
Not only that, remember they even played the joke where he was Vince McMahon's legitimate son.
Yeah, he's also Vince McMahon's like love child. Or
oh, damn! You know what I wanted to talk?
He's my dad,
dude. Okay, so this was something that I was like driving. So last time when we were talking about underrated wrestlers and shit, there was somebody that I wanted to bring up, and I don't know if you guys remember him, but do you guys remember fucking what's his name? Oh my god, I forgot his name. What's his name? The guy. Oh, Mr. Kennedy.
Oh yeah, Mr. Kennedy, man, pretty underrated, man.
He had the voice of God, dude.
Yeah, he did. He did, man.
Mister.
Oh no, sorry, no. I don't know why, but I always keep confusing him and Heidenreich.
He does look like a smaller Heidenreich, though.
It's the bleached hair, dude. It's the bleached hair.
The bleached hair. I don't know, their physique. Well, they're like body type. Like obviously Heidenreich's 8 feet tall, but like Kennedy looks like a smaller version of him.
Yeah, sorry, I think about
come down with the mic.
No, I never liked that guy.
Mr. Kennedy?
No, Heidenreich.
I did right.
Except for that was the only redeeming factor for him.
He was like a brain dead fucking Brock Lesnar, dude. Like
So Brock
thousand mile stare. Fucking yeah, he was just boring as shit. But
I don't know if this was ever really happened, but I remember there was an AMA on Reddit for Brock Lesnar. And I don't know if it was legitimately Brock Lesnar, but some of the shit that was coming out of there was fucking hilarious. Like, at one point he was like, oh, yeah, it's like, answer your questions serious, but nobody was taking him, like, supposedly taking him serious. And at one point he just started with, oh, Brock do this to do this. And like, the words would be spelled lowercase b, or uppercase R, OCKY. Go, Brock, you win, Rocky win, lose. So I don't know if it was legitimately him, but if that was him, I'd be like, oh, man, that fool has a sense of humor.
That's awesome.
yeah, I mean, shit. That would actually that would surprise me.
Somebody asked him a legit question, like something like you should ask somebody on wrestling.
Yeah.
And like goes, Paul Heyman has advised me not to answer this question.
Dude, I legitimately fear Brock Lesnar as a human being, dude. Like being 6, whatever the fuck he is, 6 foot something. I didn't know they stack shit that high.
So like I've always said that there's two types of muscles. There's active muscles or like usable muscles, and then
Functional.
there's beach muscles.
Right, yeah.
So beach muscles is just, oh, I'm gonna make yourself look good, or I'm gonna
aesthetic,
yeah, it's aesthetic, or just, or even I would even categorize bodybuilders kind of in that sense, because I don't know if you heard the story about the two bodybuilders who were like, oh, let's go do CrossFit, or let's go do like I think it was yoga, and they couldn't last 10 minutes.
Yeah,
but they're built like fucking tanks.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like for me, there's beach muscles, which is just aesthetic, and then there's
functional strength,
muscles that I worked at. And I completely forgot the point I was trying to make.
Oh, because we were talking about Brock Lesnar.
So then now I believe there's a third type of muscles, which is combat muscles. And that is 100% Brock Lesnar.
Dude, hearing about Brock, so again, talking about the Paul Heyman podcast with Rick Rubin. Mm-hmm. So I guess Brock didn't have his life figured out early early in his early years, so he was just kind of like a farmhand, so he would just like help people move shit and stuff. So like I feel that his physical strength started there, and then obviously he went to college and went to University of Minnesota, where he won multiple NCAA championships. I think it was 2, or maybe it was just 1, I can't remember. But yeah, dude, that fucking guy, I mean, my God, dude, the guy lives in fucking Alberta, Canada, killing animals and just literally being the beast incarnate.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't know if he became the character or the character was already him all along. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that's not somebody like you want to fuck with.
Nah,
because
man.
you might legitimately kill you. Like,
did you ever see that photo of Brock Lesnar, like the yearbook photo of him when he's in a suit and shit?
nah.
It's right here, but every time I don't know why, but nobody's gonna get this besides us. But I always look at it and I always say, for some reason, it just makes me think of Edgar.
Holy shit!
Man.
The glasses,
dude. And the glasses and that dead look in his eyes.
It's the haircut.
The haircut too, yeah, man. That
Dude.
blank stare on his face. That definitely is Edgar 100%.
Oh man.
But no, seriously though, Brock Lesnar. I watched this like TikTok the other day of him, and it was like some interview he did after he won in UFC or whatever.
Yeah.
And it said something like, oh, like Brock Lesnar saw this whole Bud Light thing coming from the beginning, and he was in there standing there, he's like, you know, I'm gonna go home, and he's like, I'm gonna open up a Coors Light, and he's like, you want to know why it's Coors Light? Because Bud Light doesn't want to pay me. And so then he was like, I'm gonna open up a Coors Light, I'm gonna sit there, I'm gonna look at this championship belt, and I'm gonna just go, yeah, you know, I'm gonna eat a steak. And then he was just like, you know what? Maybe I'm even gonna get on top of my wife later. And I was like, man, and that was like a straight up on like in at the UFC event. He just like was going on about that with Joe Rogan standing there laughing, and I was just like, oh man, yeah, that's legit.
There was some promo that he did, I think, like when he came back for whatever his period of absence was from the UFC, that he came back to the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had like Paul Heyman as his manager or some shit, and he's like, oh, I'm the beast and I'm the best, because I think he was wrestling against like fucking CM Punk or whatever, and then he tells Paul Heyman, he's like Paul, say something stupid. Like that shit was so funny, dude. Brock Lesnar is like an unintentionally funny guy. Like, it's not so much what he, like, the fact that he's like a joke teller. It's just the fact that the guy is funny as fuck, like just the way he is.
Like he's
But anyways, WrestleMania.
Anyways, I don't think you even answered the question. Like, do you have a favorite WrestleMania entrance?
Oh, WrestleMania entrance? Yeah.
Originally,
No, we were talking about favorite WrestleManias.
We were, but
we did, but then
we transitioned over to like WrestleMania entrances.
Yeah. Because I was saying about the Undertaker has a lot of good ones. Triple H has a lot of good ones. You know, and we talked about the Shawn Michaels coming from the ceiling. Like that was kind of like one of the first. You know,
I remember John Cena
like John Cena,
the one where they're all out there.
Yeah, they're like,
hey. that one was cool, man. Like,
I don't know, the simplicity of, I wouldn't say it's simplicity. I always just, even though he did it every fucking time he came out, even at WrestleMania, but I don't know, the ones at WrestleMania when Eddie would come out in his lowriders, what was
oh yeah, those were cool. Those were sweet.
I don't know, it's just, even though he did them every day in SmackDown, it's just, it still felt great.
I will say what was cool about the last WrestleMania was when Rey Mysterio did his entrance and he came out to the Eddie Guerrero was his actual theme music, and he came out in a lowrider. Snoop Dogg was driving. Mm-hmm. I mean, that entrance, man, I like cried a little bit. Like that was, I'm not gonna lie, like it got me. It as soon as I heard that the like they did, I can't remember exactly if they did. I think they did his music, and then it like Rey Mysterio's music, and then so you knew who was coming, and then it like turned off, and then it just started it hit immediately Eddie Guerrero's music, and I was like, oh shit, and then
but did it even pop?
Oh, it was the huge pop. It got like a huge pop. I don't think people understand or know why, but I do also feel like there's a lot of people that go to WrestleMania. They're like hardcore fans, because I mean those tickets are fucking expensive. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of shitheads there that probably don't know shit about wrestling that go just because WrestleMania is a prestigious event. Like they just go just to be at the prestigious event, right? Mm-hmm. But I do think there's a lot of people that go that are hardcore fans that are going to put out that kind of money to go. And so yeah, it did get a pretty good pop when that happened. And then he came out to the lowrider. Snoop Dogg was driving. Man, it was fucking sweet, dude. Like, it was good. But yeah, other than that, what about you? You got any?
I think I literally just said mine.
Just that? Oh, just the Eddie ones? Yeah.
I don't know if it was. It was good. I think it was because I think they were playing on the. What was that vampire wrestler that Edge was part of?
Oh, Gangrel?
Yeah. So they this past WrestleMania, the more recent one.
Yeah.
Edge came out with some kind of like Red Skull or some bullshit.
Yeah, they were like alluding back to that, I think.
Yeah. So that was kind of interesting.
What
That
are
was
they called? The Brood?
The Brood, yeah. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, I can't think of any. Like, I'm having a hard time remembering who did some memorable. The one that really sticks out to me, even though I think it was stupid as fuck, maybe it still served its purpose because I'm still talking about it. Is the HBK one where he was like Jesus or something?
Oh yeah.
When he's like descending from the wall or whatever,
Yeah.
and like he's in all white gear against his first. I think was it his first
I think it
match?
was the first match against the Undertaker. Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I don't know. That one really. Yeah, I guess you could say fucking Shawn Michaels is really Mr. WrestleMania, dude, because you certainly remember a lot of his shit.
Oh, literally. I mean, that's why he is called Mr. WrestleMania, because you remember like matches. You remember. I mean, he's had probably the most good WrestleMania matches. I mean, outside of the Undertaker, obviously.
I mean,
but
yeah, like, plus he's the only wrestler that can watch his opponent and the audience at the same time.
so, yeah. I mean,
What else you guys got? Other WrestleMania shit. I guess we could talk about. I don't know. I didn't see this live, but I remember thinking it was kind of funny. But then it turned out Brock Lesnar actually broke his neck when he did the shooting star press against
I mean, you mean when he landed on his neck?
yeah, dude. It was so bad. Like he actually finished. I can't believe they finished the match. Like even the fact that he.
Hey, if Kurt Angle can win an Olympic medal with a broken freaking neck,
Oh my god, dude.
that's true. Brock Lesnar could finish a
He
wrestling.
certainly doesn't let you forget that, dude.
No, man, he shouldn't. He shouldn't, man. That guy's an American hero. All right.
Two-time gold medal. Kurt Angle, dude.
until Eddie stole him.
Yes.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, dude.
It's funny that you mentioned that thing about the shooting star press, because I saw a thing on something the other day, and it was like after that happened.
Yeah.
And it was like Cena and Lesnar in the ring, and Cena was talking shit to him, and he was saying like, Brock, listen, there's no way that you got a concussion from that. And Brock Lesnar's like, wow, what do you mean? Why? And he's just like, because you got to have a brain to get a concussion, Brock. And then he was like, no. And then like, it was hilarious, man.
That was great.
It was pretty funny. I was like, that's a good one. But yeah, that was funny. But yeah, that was crazy to watch. I mean, I thought he was dead for sure. Like as soon as I saw him do it, I remember thinking, this he's not going to hit this. This is not. I thought he was just going to miss though.
I don't think he tucked his knees early.
Yeah.
It had been a while because he used to do it all the time in
That
Ohio
used to be
Valley.
his finisher in Ohio Valley. Like that used to be what he used to do, and he did it. You see all the videos of him just doing it perfectly, and I'm just like, man, I don't know if
It was just been too long.
I think it had been too long, and I think Kurt Angle was a little too far away.
Oh yeah, that didn't help.
I mean, and to Lesnar's credit, when he botched it, he still tried to go for the pin to make it look good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But there was no saving that. That was bad.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
Shit, I don't know if I have anything else to mention about.
Yeah, WrestleMania was not. I didn't think we were going to get a whole lot out of that because it just is what it is. But how long have we been going for?
A little less than an hour.
A little less than an hour. Well, I mean, we
Wait, how much is less than an hour?
Like 5 minutes.
we're like at 56 minutes probably.
Okay. Shit. What else is there to talk about? Oh, okay. So there's if you guys, I don't know how if you're keeping up with Raw and SmackDown and shit, but last Friday, I don't know if this is obviously not the end of the Bloodline story, but
Right. Yeah.
But Jay and Jimmy Uso super kicked Roman Reigns in what would be proverbially called the end of the Bloodline. Now that they've officially crossed, they're official line crossers now.
Yeah. They're habitual line steppers.
Yeah, so that was kind of a interesting moment because a lot of people have said this
What was
is
that joke from?
habitual line. Your habitual line. Shit, that is a good question. Habitual line step.
It's
Is that like a Dave Chappelle thing?
I
I think it is. I want to say it was like Chappelle's show, like or something. All right, hold on. I'm gonna have to Google it. I'll continue talking while I Google that and see what it was.
Well, anyways, I haven't been nearly as invested as other people that say that the Bloodline story started during the bubble period of wrestling, which was like during the pandemic and shit. And there was a whole story about Jimmy and Jey Uso, and on top of like with Roman Reigns and shit. But now it's been like a 3-year period that this story has been bubbling, simmering to this penultimate moment, because I'm sure there's gonna be a fallout moment after this. But
It was Dave Chappelle, wasn't it?
What?
It was Dave Chappelle, wasn't it?
It was
Rick
not
James?
only with it was from Rick James.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was the Rick
oh, it was Charlie Murphy.
Charlie Murphy.
Fuck, I'm like,
Yeah.
I know it's Chappelle show, I just don't know who it
It
is.
was that Rick James. Ritual line stepper.
But anyways, yeah, it's been 3 years since they have been building up to this story. So what are your guys' predictions for what's going to happen at the end of this Bloodline story? Because now that Jimmy and Jey Uso are on the same page, I imagine this is going to turn into a tag team match between Jimmy and Jey Uso versus Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns.
I'm sure that's probably what will end up happening. I think that I think this is an overall storyline type maneuver here, because I think that obviously everybody's going to be saying about Roman Reigns and how, the only reason he's been, the champion for so long is because of the bloodline and blah, blah, blah. But now that they're not around, basically, he's going to have to be proving that, hey, he is the man. He's going to basically spend the next however long proving that, like, oh, no, that was all just... The naysayers were wrong. That Roman Reigns, he can carry the title. He's done it on his own, because now he doesn't have, he doesn't have them. He's got what's his name? The other one. Yeah, he's got him. But I mean, eventually he's gonna turn on him. I'm sure, because that's kind of what happens with stables in the WWEs. They all just implode.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's gonna probably leave him, and then he's gonna just be by himself. To him and Paul, maybe Paul Heyman will eventually fucking leave him. Who knows? But I think that they're going overall with this is going back to what I'm hopeful. Maybe I'm just wishful thinking this, but like we kind of talked about this the other day with the whole Cody Rhodes thing, because it didn't make sense to me as to why you bring him back and then you just do nothing with him. You put him in the main event of WrestleMania, you make him win the Royal Rumble, and then what? Just he didn't win, so okay, you're just gonna keep Roman Reigns doing this. So I kind of feel like they're gonna be hopefully maybe recreating that old storyline from Dusty Rhodes with that Hard Times or whatever, and like Cody Rhodes will be able to cut some really good promos on that, but he's gonna probably spend the next year just getting his ass whooped and just losing and just being a piece of shit. And then Roman Reigns is gonna spend the next year probably being a solo act, and he's gonna just be beating everybody who's in front of him, and he's gonna be just annihilating them, and he's just gonna be seemingly even more unstoppable alone than he was before with the bloodline. And then that's going to hopefully maybe potentially lead to Cody Rhodes probably being number 30, or no, I'm not sorry, number 30, number 1. He's going to be drawing the number 1 entrant at next year's Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And then he's going to go, and that's going to be the beginning of the turn, and he's going to go and he's going to win the Royal Rumble from the number 1 position. And then it's going to lead into him, okay, now he wants his payback from last year, WrestleMania. He won the Royal Rumble, but like he didn't get it done. He couldn't get the job done against Roman Reigns. And now Roman Reigns is not only even bigger and better, but he's proven that he's even better than he was last year, because he doesn't have the extra help. He doesn't have any of that stuff now, and he's been still beating people's asses. So now there's no excuse for Cody to lose or whatever. And then it's going to turn into Cody being like, I spent the last year just getting my ass beat and fucking losing, and I got lucky to get into the Royal Rumble. And then you know what? I got the unlucky chance of drawing number 1, but you know what? I fought and clawed, and I won my way back to win the Royal Rumble. And now they're going to fight at WrestleMania, where it's going to be this like super built up storyline, hopefully. And it's either going to have where they're going to finally dethrone Roman, and Cody Rhodes is gonna have that like pivotal moment for his career. He's gonna get that WrestleMania moment where he wins that title, or they're gonna do the opposite and they're gonna still keep Cody Rhodes down, and then they're going to do what all the TikToks have been saying with like, oh, me in 50 years watching Roman Reigns beat fucking so and so, and like it's just he just does a thing at the end. He's like he just does the tribal chief thing at the end.
The one,
yeah. And then like there was one where there's this guy where he did this one. He was like, oh, he's like me at the local park watching Roman Reigns beat the shit out of my son, and then it's like 1, 2, 3, ding ding, and then his music plays. He's like, oh, all right. And
Dude, okay, so we're talking about WrestleMania scenarios with Cody Rhodes. Dude, I swear to God, if they don't fucking pull the... Okay, so this is how I think it goes down with Cody Rhodes. It's going to go down one of fucking two ways, right? Uh-huh. Number one, this is the ugly situation.
Yeah, ugly.
This is the one I don't want to happen because I think it will. So... Obviously, it'd be nice for Cody Rhodes to get a fucking W as big as WrestleMania and to get the undisputed title because it finally puts everything to rest that like he finally gets a win for his family, like not just for like his dad but also for his brother.
Yeah,
that never got like a main. He was never a main eventer, right?
Yeah,
should have been.
Agreed. Should have been. Yeah, 100%.
But the thing that kills me inside, that make like the realistic part of me is thinking like, dude, he is already, I don't know how old Cody Rhodes is, but let's say he's already in his like late 30s, right? Let's say he's already in his late 30s.
Yeah.
Do you put the fucking belt, like, because whoever comes away with that fucking title is a made man.
Right.
That's them for like the next,
He's 37.
He's 37. So it's like, it feels too late. It feels too late for him to win.
Say that's Flair.
Huh?
Say that's a Flair.
Say that to Flair, yeah.
Well, no. I think, yeah, I mean, that's true. I see what you're saying. But like, I think what Adam's trying to say is like he said, whoever wins that title off of Roman Reigns
is made
for
the next like
so you
10
can't
years.
You can't waste it on somebody who like I mean, as much as I hate to say that, you can't waste it on somebody like Cody Rhodes who's already kind of been around the world and done shit. You got to do it to somebody who hasn't done any of that shit yet. Like, as much as I don't really like Austin Theory that much, I mean, I'm sure that's probably the guy that they will eventually probably do that with.
But that was the other thing I was going to say. But like, there isn't anybody else either
I don't think
you
there
could
is
give it
currently.
to that you could, or not even give it to. That was somebody that
like, what are they doing with Sami Zayn right now?
Well, they just have
they're him and what's his name?
the KO and Sami Zayn are like tag.
They're like tag team.
So
back down to that
they're
again.
kind of like, they're kind of booked up already. So
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
You know who would be great? If he was still in the WWE, this is Cesaro.
Yeah, man, Cesaro's cool, but I don't know, man. Watching him in AEW, well, I mean, maybe it's just the way they used him.
Casting
fucking, yeah, man, I just hate that name. But also the way they used him, like to be the Ring of Honor champion, it just kind of, I just felt like that title run that he had was underwhelming. I mean, he fucking.
But was he underwhelming, or was it just?
I don't know.
It just feels like there's too many goddamn belts. That's the fucking problem.
I do agree.
AEW has too many goddamn belts, dude, and the Ring of Honor ones just feel like throwaway shit.
I feel like they're fucking worthless. Like it feels like a shitty consolation prize.
They currently have what, the 2 sets of tag team titles,
right?
They have
the IC title,
the US.
Yeah.
Didn't they bring back the European title?
I don't know about that.
No,
they have the world heavyweight title.
I think they had it in NXT.
Okay.
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah, NXT has like a North Atlantic champion.
Yeah,
and they have a European title too.
There's like a whole European fucking like
bracket.
NXT version.
Yeah.
So like I think that's where it's at. Is in there.
Yeah.
That's kind of where they brought it back to.
They have like a North American champion, which is
Yeah. That belt's cool. That remember that red one? It's like red or whatever. I don't know how it looks now, but that's how it was back in the day. And then they have, but then they have those titles. Plus, they just brought back what they're calling the World Heavyweight Championship. So now,
which is like big gold, but not really.
It's kind of it's a weaker version.
It's close,
but it's not. I mean, still, I don't know, man. Maybe it's because I'm nostalgic for that belt, but like, it's not as good.
How interesting is it that WWE won the Monday Night Wars, but the WCW Heavyweight title became the main title for the WWE for a while?
Yeah,
It just looks good.
Honestly, it's
It
just
looks
such a
good.
great design. It's super fucking aesthetic, and then
it's regal as fuck. Like
yeah, man, it just has that
it's regalia.
Yeah,
like,
it has that air of like this fucking means something. This is a championship, and you know what's great?
It looked good. It looked. I hate to say this, but it looked good on Triple H when he was champion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it did. It fucking really did. That's the
Honestly,
belt.
it didn't look bad on anybody.
I'm trying to think. Yeah,
You know what? You're right. I think you're right. I don't think it did look. I don't think it looked bad on anybody that held it. When it was Rey Mysterio had it for a while too. It looked great on him.
I think it looked
you
best.
know.
Honestly, I think it looked best on Y2J when he had it and the WWE title.
Yeah, man, that original WWF.
Yeah.
Was he the first undisputed champion?
Yes.
Yeah, Chris
He was.
Jericho was, man. He was the first one.
Who did he wrestle against? It was
Triple
The
H.
Rock
He-
and
Triple H, or no, it was The Rock and Stone
Rusty.
Cold in
Yeah.
the same night.
Yeah.
In the same night, man.
Remember when they did Kurt Angle dirty when he had like 3 titles and he had to wrestle
Oh,
3
and he
matches?
lost all of them? Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, he had the Intercontinental. Oh, he had 2. He had the Intercontinental and he had the European title. And at WrestleMania, I think it was 17.
I think he lost it to Chris Benoit.
He lost it to Chris Benoit and he lost the other one to China.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
that's right.
Yeah. Like, that was hilarious, man.
Wow.
Remember when they had him copy Stone Cold? Remember when he came out in the beer truck and was spraying people
Oh,
out
yeah,
beer?
man, that
And
was-
then they had Kurt Angle come out
Was
with
it
the
the
milk
milk?
truck.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drink a tall glass of milk. Take 3 Viagra.
Oh, remember when Stone Cold was like, cheering everybody, and then The Rock was trying to cheer him with water? He just gave him the dirtiest fucking look.
Okay, so to the Cody Rhodes thing, the other side of it.
What's the other side? Yeah.
So the other side is like the optimistic side, which is just
Kind of like
that-
what I said, right?
Yeah, it's just like it's time.
Yeah.
If they want to pull the trigger, it's going to be this year because like they haven't built up it. The thing that kind of worried me was that once he lost the title, he showed up on fucking Monday Night Raw, or maybe it was like when the draft happened, which is probably like a month later. So Cody Rhodes got drafted to Monday Night Raw. So I don't know if that means that he can't compete for. He can't compete for.
Well, no, he can't unless you win the Royal Rumble, because then it goes back to that rule where if you win the Royal Rumble, then you get to pick which one you want to go for.
Yeah, so the thing that was kind of weird was that after he got drafted or whatever, they're like, okay, we're going to introduce the World Heavyweight Championship again. And they made it seem like, well, since he was on Raw, like that he was going to be one of the main contenders.
Right.
And I was like, fuck, dude, well, there goes with
that,
there
yeah.
goes the Roman Reigns thing. And then on top of that, like he got sidetracked with Brock Lesnar, and they didn't really, I don't know if they finished that feud or not, because it was just, it was one
I mean,
apiece.
they
It was
had a
one
match.
apiece.
Yeah, they had that last match at the whatever that last pay per view was.
It was one apiece. Like they didn't even do a third installment. But anyways, so like it already feels like they haven't built up to him facing Roman again. So like I don't know if that's gonna happen. But like I said, if it's gonna happen, they really need to build it back up to basically where they were. Because dude, maybe they're in a better situation than they were last year, because last year they had to cover 3 months of ground to convince people that Cody Rhodes should be in the fucking main event.
Right.
Now they have what, like, I don't know how many months now. They have 6 months. Or no, is it
more than that? We have a little you have like 10 months.
Okay, they got 10 months to
This
build
is
it up
June,
again.
So yeah, they got like 10 months to.
I feel like, okay, and then one other thing, I don't know how this is going to turn out, but if you still have Cody win, that's cool, whatever. But I feel like you got to add the third fucking mix. Like you got to make this a triple threat match, because they've been building up like Jey Uso as a main event person by himself, right?
Yeah.
So I say for WrestleMania they have Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, and fucking Cody Rhodes. For Jey Uso to win the title, it would mean that he would get redemption for himself, also his brother, like his family, and all that shit.
Yeah.
And then he would be like the head of the fucking, he'd be the tribal chief or whatever the fuck. And that'd be great for him. And it also like hides what the win could be. Like whoever wins that specific scenario,
Right.
like it obscures it, so people don't exactly know. Like there's 2 good contenders for who can win that. It'd either be
Right.
Cody Rhodes, the person that has a legacy, the same way that the Jey Uso has with like the Anoa'i family.
Right,
I don't know how to
yeah.
pronounce that name correctly, but there's 2 families that have 2 legacies, and then there's Roman Reigns in the middle of it. Whoever comes out on top is going to be made for
Forever,
whoever,
yeah.
whoever fucking. So I think they should make that a triple threat match. And I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but I would love to see that. And I think I think they let Cody let Cody have it for the sake that he came back. Because if he doesn't fucking win it, then it's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. That's the end of the story. So those are the two scenarios I imagine for Cody Rhodes as far as like WrestleMania scenarios go. Is that he loses it once more, and then nobody ever believes that he's ever gonna win it again, and that's it. He's dead. And then the other scenario is that he actually wins it. They make it a triple threat match with Jey Uso so that they keep people guessing for who's going to win and raise the stakes because, triple threat match is going to make it super crazy. There's going to be third parties involved.
Yeah.
Like let's say Jimmy shows up and fucking helps out his brother to score the win and just really make it a fucking chaotic match. And I don't know. So that's what I would like to see for the WrestleMania scenario for next year.
Yeah, that would be cool. What about you, Frank? You got anything on that? No. What do we have right now?
Hour 12.
Hour 12. Well, all right.
All right, cool.
All right. You got anything else to add, Adam? Anything else?
No, that was pretty much it.
All right, Frank. You got anything else to add in general?
No.
No. All right. Well, I don't really have anything else in general, so I guess we'll go ahead and call it here. All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening, and tune in next time.
Sucky.
Long time.
That was another wonderful, amazing, powerful episode of the Game Rage Wrasslin podcast. And take it from me, ladies and gentlemen, the natural lad, Jet Swag. If there's one podcast, one show you should be listening to, that you should be absolutely grateful for, it's the Game Rage Wrestling podcast. And one of the things you can do to show your appreciation for all the hard work and dedication that these boys put out day in, day out, just for you people, it's that you can go and you can subscribe and you can like and follow them on the Instagram and the TikTok at Game Rage Magazine. You can also follow them and like them and subscribe to them on the old Twitter, which I don't know what it's called now, but who cares? It's at Game Rage Mag there. Additionally, if you feel the need to really show your appreciation, which you should, then go to their website at www.GameRageMagazine.com and show us some love. Show them some love. And show some love for the natural lad, Jet Swag.